Videocast number 125, the E.D.G.E method. The E.D.G.E method is the preferred method of teaching skills in the ScoutsBSA program. E.D.G.E centers around a key principle in training, that teaching is not effective unless learning takes place. To do this, the BSA uses the training E.D.G.E model, a 4-step method for teaching a skill. Let's take a look at the parts of E.D.G.E and then investigate each part individually. E.D.G.E is actually an acronym for Explain, Demonstrate, Guide, and Enable. Explain. Explain what you're going to teach and why. The why is important because it provides Scouts with the proper context around a particular concept. Tell them the steps involved. Visual aids can be helpful for this step, but it's not enough to simply explain it. You want to put it into context. For example, a taut line is a helpful knot, but out of context it's hard to see the value. A taut line can be slipped to tighten or loosen a line, then holds fast under load. It can be useful for lines under load, meaning if something is pulling on it. A taut line is useful when you're setting up guidelines for your tent, where you wrap it around a stake and adjust it to keep it from sagging. And then, if needs to be, it can be tightened. You can easily adjust it. Another use is a clothesline, running it from one tree or a post to another and adjusting it to tighten it. As part of understanding, sometimes it's important to ask questions. This keeps them engaged as well as to make sure they're understanding what you're teaching. The next step is to demonstrate. Demonstrate the steps using an example or actual materials. Describe what you're doing. Go at a slow pace so each step in the process is clearly shown. Continuing with my example of a taut line, setting up a clothesline and then putting some weight on it like a towel to show that it works and doesn't slip reinforces the skill that you're teaching. Next up is guide. Guide learners as they go through the exercise for the first time. Provide the materials and tools needed to complete the exercise. A learner must do a new activity at least twice. That's how real learning takes place. Repetition is essential. Repetition is essential. So, as the Scout is performing the activity, it's okay to help them by pointing to things or even moving their hands or fingers to complete the activity successfully. It's okay that they're not doing it by themselves at this point. The idea is to guide them, as the name says, through the process, and then have them do it again. Hopefully the second and third time you're observing more than leading their hands. At this point, it's a good idea to circle back to reinforce to see what they've learned already. Asking them why the skill is important, and then have them try and move to the next step, which is to enable. Enable learners by letting them perform the skill themselves without intervention. Essentially, watch them do it and correct if necessary. Then you can put the towel on the taut line rope to complete the cycle. Have them try and adjust each taut line and then remove it. It's important to encourage them to keep trying until they master the skill. It's okay to have them do it multiple times. One of the reasons we use the E.D.G.E method with Scouts is to have them teach the skill and not have the adults doing the teaching every time. As someone teaches something, their knowledge and skill for the task gets stronger as it uses different parts of your brain to teach something rather than just doing something. If you're like me and have been using a knot like a taut line over the years, you tend to do it from memory, and your hands just do it on their own. Once you actually have to slow down and go step by step, you see that you really need to think about it as you're going along. That's why it's a great thing to encourage, especially with your younger Scouts. But this is what works for us. Take what you like, leave the rest, and as we say in Woodbatch, feedback is a gift. Leave yours below in the comments with all the hope we can learn together. I'm Scoutmaster Dave, and this was a little on the E.D.G.E method.